Hey everybody, it's LexxMarie here. Excuse the mess behind me. I'm packing and doing a lot of crap back here, so just avoid it. I just woke up and I did a reading. I started this last night, but I felt like it needed to continue again, and it's going to continue on. So this isn't the only session I'm going to do. But this is for the Delphi murders. That's what everybody knows them as, in 2017. From a 13 and a 14-year-old girl. And they were friends, and their names are Liberty German and Abigail Williams, known as Libby and Abby. This case is really bizarre. I feel like they're closer to and if you want to read into it, you can. I feel like they're closer into getting who found them, but this has been requested a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and start. And I will do another session on this again, like I said. But when I contacted originally, I contacted them both, and I feel like it may be easier if I contact them separately, only because I wasn't receiving, it was like a lot of different messages, and I wasn't really receiving anything actually clear to me at first. And then the second session I did this morning was the same thing. It was there was some yeses but a lot of different things. And I did receive one thing from one of the girls. So I'm going to try to do that separately next time. But this time, I just want to tell you guys what I received, and then we'll go from there. There was a lot of suspects. There was a recording that Libby had made on her phone of a man that was walking on the bridge, I guess, that they were walking on originally, and a video of him walking. And then there was also recording, and I'm not sure if there is actual footage, like you can see anything, or if you can mostly just hear. But they had released the audio footage of someone saying, "Get down the hill," or "Go down the hill," or "Guys, down the hill," or something like that. And they wanted to release that to see if people, recognize the voice or anything. They also had their most recent, I guess, conference speaking about the case by law enforcement. They were saying, they were now trying different tactics, and it's more about control for this person. So I really do feel like they are on the right track, and they're trying to find this person, or they already know who the person is and just waiting for him to make a move type situation. It's been 2 years now. So, and it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre, the whole thing. I will say that both of the girls are smart. Libby is the one who came to me and said something by herself. But I'll go ahead and just go on. So I just wanted to go into broad information, just broad, because I could ask what happened, I could ask who did this, but why, they're 13 and 14-year-old girls, and sometimes whenever they pass, even though they're mature, I don't want to put too much on them. It's like doing that to a 13-year-old or 14-year-old that's still living. You just sit there and ask them questions back to back. It's not gonna, they may not want to answer them or feel weary or, something like that of not wanting to do that. So I just let them speak and say what they wanted to say. And whatever came through would be significant in some way. And I can continue on the session, and I will continue on the session, because it just gives me chills, because they're very much here, and it's for their families. I feel that they're more wanting to get this closed about. But I saw an image of someone. So I did ask originally what happened. I did get a few things, but I wanted to go more into whatever you want to give me. So I wanted to see what would happen after I said what happened. I received an image of someone hitting them on the back of their head or behind them. I don't know if the person ran behind them as if unexpectedly ran up, or they knew someone was behind them already. Whenever I seen this image, I seen a person, it's like maybe they even pushed them or something was in their hand, but I seen an image of like a glass jar. It was almost like an old pickle jar or something, empty. Or it had to have been empty. It was just a clear glass container that had been used already, like an old mason jar or a pickle jar or something like that. I did see an arm swinging behind them. I don't know if this was the container he was holding or if it was him pushing them and getting them off track, or one of them off track. So we started with one first. And then, so the next image was of sneakers. And I thought it was sneakers at first because it was all white. I possibly had seen blue lines in the sneakers, but there was it was leaves that they were in. And it was like they were showing me running, possibly. Like maybe they were running at one point or trying to get away at one point. But I did see just a lot of leaves that they were going through. And then I seen the next image, a lot of leaves, and then heard a lot of leaves. And so it made me think of their last moments possibly was in a lot of grass, or in a lot of leaves. Or that's the image they remember seeing, is a lot of leaves, just leaves. Or one of the girls' last image was leaves. So it, right after that image, I did see that. So I was like, okay, what if they were running and tripped, and then that's how we got one of them and then got the other later? Or there's a lot of different possibilities to that. So I also received that they did not pass at exactly the same time, and one of them or both was aware something was wrong. So that made me, about the whole pushing thing, like maybe he pushed one of them or hit one of them, knocked them unconscious, or did something like that to where he could get to the other one and get them both in the same spot and do what he had to do to these children. The next image was, I heard we lost our way. And that made me believe that maybe they got lost for a second or thought they were, and then some man comes up and is just like, oh, hey, I know the trail, or hey, you guys want to go on this cool trail I found, or something that was odd, something that was really odd and creepy, but like maybe someone convinced them of a shortcut, something like that. It made them think they were okay, but they felt lost with the person with the murderer. They felt lost at that moment. I did see an image of a long white sock, and that I was like, okay, is that connection with the running that I seen, or the walking in the grass? And I took it as tennis shoes, and it was all an all white sock. Or maybe there was a struggle, type thing, and then that the murderer shoes fell off at one point, or their shoes were off at one point, something. But it did get brought up. Saw an image of a man possibly pointing a gun at them. Could also be a symbol for him threatening them while they were alive so they would follow his lead. So it could be, that he did point a gun at them and just didn't use it, and was just like, it just to scare them. They're kids, So so he threatened them in some way once he realized he wasn't in control at some point, like he wouldn't be in control or something would happen. I seen an image of a pie, like a very traditional looking pie, like the ones that are just circular with the crossing, crust, very traditional. Now I heard from Libby, and this could be I felt like it was more like a parental figure, but I also felt like it could have been, I've seen an older couple when I seen this couple that she was referring to. And it could just mean parents, grandparents, family in general, but it was specifically two older people, white couple, a man and a woman. She said, I'm sorry, felt like I could have done more, is what she said. So, and of course I spoke to her, and, we settled that, and, there's only so much you can say to a spirit that has passed that feels, a certain type of way about her family, and is sorry that things happen this way, and, even though it wasn't their fault at all. So there's specific ways you got to talk to them, but I did let her know that, it wasn't her fault, and she's a smart girl, and her family they're not blaming her, neither on Abby's side either. Nobody's blaming them for anything. It wasn't their fault. No matter what the series of events was, the fact that they were their life was taken short, and they're only children. It's not their fault, and they needed to know that. The last image was that they were violated in some way. There was a struggle from the murderer. So there was some type of struggle for the murderer. I don't know if maybe he hit one of them or pushed them. One of them got up and tried to like fight him, or what the case was. But there was a struggle for him at one point, and then he did what he did. But that's all I receive for now. Whenever I was reading them, I got extremely hot around the back of my head and my neck. And sometimes, that happens whenever I'm like because I am a psychic medium, and that's one of the things that I get whenever I know somebody's in the room, or I know I'm cleansing something, or I'm cleansing my chakras and things like that, or I've cleansed other people and they, know that there's certain parts that get heated and activated. But it stopped after I stopped reading them. And so the back of my head is still burning hot, and just the back of my neck. So it really does make me believe that maybe they were strangled, or they were held down by their neck, or something like that. I do feel like they were face down. I don't know if they passed in that position, but they were face down at one point. So I really need I just need more. I need more, and I think the public needs to know more to help find these girls, or to help find the killer of these girls. And if you're on the right track, that's great, but the family is really hurting, and Abby and Libby, they feel that a lot. And so they want closure for their family. So I'm going to continue to read, and I'll get a next reading soon. But, I'm burning hot. I am literally steaming on the back of my neck only. That's the only part that I'm, they're very, very smart. And, they're still very much here. And, we need more. We just need closure for these girls. So I'm going to continue to do another reading. I feel like the next reading is going to be more intense for me. But whenever it happens, it's going to be for a purpose. So I'll continue to do so. Y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.